to sort of have all these people, a lot of whom aren't necessarily Jewish, enjoying Jewish American food in that way, and kind of learning a little bit along the way about the history of Jewish American food and Ashkenazi cooking. It's a cool thing that people can come together over something that's so niche.
We're at Freedman's today in Los Angeles. It is one of my absolute favorite restaurants in the city. I come here all the time, and I'm really excited to show you what they have to offer. The tableside brisket is what they're known for, but their cocktails, all the other food they make, the smoked salmon, the matzo ball soup, it feels like home, and I cannot wait to show you what's inside, so let's go.
This is Jonah Freedman, and he's the owner of, you guessed it, Freedman's. It's a Jewish deli-inspired restaurant in Silver Lake. He's managed to turn this place into one of the hottest spots in LA. The star of the show is, of course, the famous brisket. It's served tableside with bone marrow, rye bread, fried potatoes, and pickles.
Obviously, it's become a classic here at Freedman's since opening. And I think the reason for that is that it's not a very chefy dish. It's not over the top. There's no wild garnishes. It's just something you can easily make at home. So we just start with searing the brisket, and we do a simple braise on it. Cooks for about 3 hours, and then glaze it at the end. Little red wine, glucose and sugar, and that's it. It's like a very, very simple thing. I would say just done correctly and done with care.
The whole brisket is served and carved tableside, soliciting lots of oohs and ahs from diners as it glides across the restaurant.
The reason why we do the tableside brisket is for the reactions. I mean, it's definitely for a show, and it's just fun. As soon as we walk it out, everyone's out with their cameras and looking over, and we use a loud electric knife that will really draw attention if you weren't paying attention beforehand.
This brisket reminds me a lot about Shabbat dinners with my parents, my family, my mom. Very, very similar. I have to say this one's a lot better though.
It truly melts in your mouth. I think a lot of Americans are more familiar with barbecue, Texas style brisket, and that's something that I spend a lot of my time working with. So eating something different, A, is refreshing, and B, this kind of brisket is so classic Americana to me. It should be up there with the barbecue briskets. People should care about the Jewish comfort food brisket situation that's going on here at Freedman's. Excuse me. But you do not need a knife for this. You can use one if you want. Oops.
Jonah and his team aren't trying to be the next Cantors or Langers. Freedman's is deli-inspired, not an actual deli. But what exactly does that mean?
I grew up eating a little bit of everything. I definitely did the deli thing with my grandparents. That was big with them, sort of going out and going to the various Toronto Jewish delis and going to get bagels with my dad. But then at home we would eat whatever. My mom was a very, very good cook and always sort of placed a really big emphasis on food. So I sort of, grew up, I think, with an appreciation for food that way.
Aside from the brisket, Freedman's makes everything from warm challah and house-made lox to less predictable dishes like incredibly fluffy gnocchi.
Oh my God.
I think there's something so homey about something as simple as just toast and cream cheese and a piece of fish. My Japanese side, breakfast food is very much associated with fish as well. So it's interesting that it layers in different cultures, that you have fish in the morning. It's so good.
Generally, it's kind of split, I would say, almost down the middle of inspiration from a deli and then just kind of inspiration from California and where we're at. I guess it goes a step further than the deli and further into the history of Ashkenazi cooking and really trying to bring those elements in while pulling what we can out of California as far as, the beautiful produce and working with great purveyors. So we like to say Jewish-ish.
Happiness on a plate.